name is Nicole. I'm a tea writer and educator, and I'm here to help you learn more about tea. Today I wanted to talk about one of my absolute favorite green teas, Tai Ping Hou Kui. This green tea comes from China's Anhui Province, and it has some of the largest tea leaves you will ever see. The name Tai Ping Hou Kui means peaceful monkey leader. Like many Chinese teas, there's a legend that goes along with it. There's a few different versions of this story. A monkey king lost his son and died out of grief, and a farmer happened to find his body in the forest, and he stopped and took the time to bury the monkey king properly. And the next year, when the farmer passed that same spot, tea plants had grown. When you're brewing this tea, you'll want to consider its long and unusual shape. Ideally, we want to avoid breaking the leaves. Kind of think of it like spaghetti. Some people break it, but a lot of people say you shouldn't. So one of my favorite ways to make this tea is grandpa style. So you just put a couple of leaves in a tall glass and you just keep refilling it with hot water as you go. It's a very casual way to make the tea, but this is one that really performs particularly well that way. If I'm not doing it grandpa style, I like to do it kind of a bit of a modified gong fu style. So I'll actually put the leaves in a fairness pitcher instead of a gaiwan, since that wouldn't really have room for the leaves. And then I'll just have a second pitcher handy with a filter so that I can decant the tea once it's ready to be poured out. Since it's a green tea, you'll want to make sure your water is on the cooler side. For Tai Ping Hou Kui, that's typically between 170 to 185. As the leaves soften, you'll see that they'll kind of go down into the pitcher a little more. You can see why this is one of my favorite teas. It's just really beautiful to watch the leaves unfurl in the water. If you notice that the leaves aren't getting completely wet by the water, you can kind of gently stir them up a little bit just to help get them into the water more evenly. During processing, the leaves are pan roasted like most other Chinese green teas are. The main difference with this one is that it comes from a cultivar that has particularly large leaves from the area of Anhui Province that this tea comes from. And then the leaves are pressed between metal screens to kind of give them that very long appearance. That can be done either manually or by hand. The ones that are done by hand are significantly more expensive. I think it's kind of neat that you can sometimes see the impression of the screens in the tea leaves themselves. So when you're ready to pour your tea, you just, gently pour it out, trying to keep the leaves inside, but the filter will catch those if I do miss any. The way I do it is a little bit of a hybrid of grandpa style and gong fu. So I like to leave kind of just a little bit of water to cover the leaves. I find that helps to maintain a stronger flavor throughout. But you definitely don't have to do it that way if you don't want to. Tai Ping Hou Kui is a bit more on the savory side than you might expect from a Chinese green tea. There's umami there, but it is mild. The flavor is really soft and sweet. There are subtle floral notes of orchid, but if it's made properly, this tea shouldn't really have any bitterness to it. One of my favorite memories about Tai Ping Hou Kui, I had heard about it online for years, and I found out that a tea store in Brooklyn carried it. Jason and I had only been dating for a few years at the time, but he indulged me on taking a trip over to Brooklyn so that I could get some of this tea. And the salesperson there, when I picked out this tea, he was so excited because he said it was one of his favorites. He described the tea as tasting like jumping into a pile of fall leaves. I just found that description super evocative, and it's one that I think about every time I have this tea. For subsequent infusions, you can just keep adding water like this until you feel that there's no flavor left. I'll usually have the infusions be about 30 seconds long in the beginning and stretch that out as I go. Have you ever tried Tai Ping Hou Kui? What's your favorite way to brew it? Let me know in the comments. I would also love to know if there are any teas that you would like to see a video like this about in the future. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.